You'll never see everything, even in your favorite video games sometimes. Games have just become so ridiculously complicated with so many choices. There are cutscenes we never even knew existed. So today we're talking about 10 video game cutscenes you probably never saw. Starting off at number 10, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. It's definitely got some oddball charm to it, doesn't it? The original version and the new version. Almost everything from the original game is here. And there are a lot of secrets now, including the ability to actually save one of the bosses. One optional boss named Paul will burn himself to death with a Molotov cocktail, but if Frank acts fast enough, you can put out the fire and rescue him.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never do anything like that again.
That's a fun little detail that we just never knew on our first playthrough. And there's a short cutscene we also never knew existed right at the start of the game. After Frank West is dropped off in Willamette Mall, the last local bastion of defense, of course, is like against this growing horde of zombies, and you enter the entrance plaza section of the mall to go look around, and then there's this whole thing with an old lady and a poodle, zombies get inside, chaos reigns, and Frank runs for safety to the security room. At least that's what's supposed to happen. So if you don't make it to the security room, it isn't game over. At the very start of Dead Rising, you have very little health and very little skill or abilities all for dodging the zombies. If you get chomped too many times, you're done for. But the game offers a little bit of leeway. Instead of losing, your friendly mall employee Otis saves Frank's life. In a cutscene that not a lot of people probably saw, Frank wakes up in the security room alive and well. Otis was infamous for being that annoying guy constantly calling you on the original Dead Rising, but now we gotta tip our hat to this guy. He did good. And I mean, now that he has voice acting, that definitely helps too.
You saved me? Thanks. Looks like I owe you one.
Next, over at number 9, Red Dead Redemption 2 could fill a list of hidden cutscenes by itself, man. There are too many secrets and impossible to find random encounters to talk about them all here. We've encountered spooky skeletons in the environment, UFOs, a creepy cult, you name it. There's an easy to miss cutscene in a side quest with a cult. Arthur visits the group to find one of its members, but if you shoot their leader dead, the cultists will bellow in defiance and attack Arthur.
He has fallen, so we must rise! We rise!
There are dozens of cutscenes and incidental lines of dialogue that can change in Red Dead, and some of the funniest come from Arthur's size. So you can get very large in Red Dead Redemption 2. You can get overweight. Like in previous GTA games, if you eat too much, your character gains weight. And that's especially difficult to do in Red Dead 2 because food is really expensive. Literally no one in their right minds will gain weight in this game unless they're really, really trying, and even then, it's not easy. You'd practically have to cheat to get big enough, but if you choose to get big enough, you put the work in, at least one character has something to say. In the town of Valentine, if Arthur is caught and captured by the local sheriff, there's a chance you'll get a little cutscene where Dutch's gang busts in to save you. This is already by itself a totally optional scene. There are multiple variants of this prison escape, as you probably know, but this is the most exciting one. During this cutscene, whether you're a big boy or not, one of the deputies taunts you with food.
You want some? Oh, you can't have it. Gentlemen!
And the sheriff himself has even more to say after the action. If you return to the town with extra pounds on Arthur, Sheriff Malloy gets you with a pretty harsh putdown. He says, guess you don't have to worry about hanging, you'd snap the damn rope. Dude, that's brutal. Nothing like Arthur rolling into town and getting roasted by the sheriff.
Good day, gentlemen.
God, wouldn't it have been easier just to shoot them?
Next, over at number 8, if there's a competition for the most hidden cutscenes in games, Baldur's Gate 3 probably takes the crown. There's no other game with as many variables playing behind the scenes, changing everything about your playthrough in all these cool, subtle ways. One of the less subtle ways you can totally change your run is by recruiting the evil drow Minthara in Act 1 by betraying everyone you've been helping and leading the Cult of the Absolute to the Emerald Grove. That's already a rare decision, but if you're feeling even more spicy, you can also choose to play the Dark Urge character run. This character changes every aspect of the story. You've probably heard about it. It basically turns you into an unrestrained serial killer. Every moment of the game can just be disrupted by a bad roll, as your Dark Urge Dragon Man just wants to kill everyone he meets.
This branch of flesh is begging to be pruned, and its sap sucked from.
And your party members are no exceptions. Combine all these unlikely playthrough actions together, and we've got a cutscene almost no one will ever see. So after recruiting Minthara, she'll very quickly propose a romantic scene after the events of Act 1 are over. She practically throws herself at you, which isn't a great idea when you're playing as an unstable serial killer. If you get the wrong rolls and choose the wrong dialogue options, the evening ends with Minthara's broken neck. A grisly ending for a very grisly playthrough. And that isn't even close to the more hidden cutscenes in Baldur's Gate 3. Everyone knows about the bear romance cutscene, but how about a squid romance? At the very end of the game, you can choose to romance a monster man. If you're into that sort of thing, and of course we had to try it too, but we won't talk about it for long. These are just the insane lengths that we'll go to see weird, crazy things nobody would or should want to see.
Sometimes I felt almost like we were dancing our way towards something deeper.
Next over at number 7, Wonderful 101 is a magical project from developer Platinum Games and just shows how far they'll go when they get a little bit of budget. This over-the-top send-up of Super Sentai teams has you playing as 100 tiny Power Rangers, morphing into giant weapons and piloting mega robots to defend the Earth from Saturday morning cartoon aliens. Platinum is known for going over the top in games like Metal Gear Rising, Bayonetta, and literally everything else they've made mostly, but Wonderful 101 might be the most insane. Here's something that we never knew. If you fail the button prompt QTEs that happen frequently all over the game, you don't actually lose. Instead of losing, you get a cute cutscene. Then the QTE resets so you can try again. We might have accidentally failed once or twice, but never enough to see them all. And you'd absolutely never fail during the high stakes ending chapter, but fail you can. During the final boss encounter, the leader of the aliens charges a mega ray to blow up the Earth in a single shot. So to defend Earth, your team has to complete 2 simple QTEs, and you can fail both of them. The first involves writing a W, and if you fail, your panicky giant robot just pushes the Earth out of the way of the beam before embarrassingly swimming through space to get back into position. If you fail the second QTE and don't press the buttons good enough, the Earth gains a new hole, a very big one, and nobody would ever see this. The ending gives you time to tap buttons. The characters are tapping buttons with you. Everyone is pressing buttons all at the same time, doing their best to rescue Earth from the hole-shaped oblivion. But if you choose to fail them, then you get a silly cutscene and you get to try it again. So we'd call that a win-win. Next over at number 6, for the purposes of time and our own sanity, we're gonna have to explain a secret scene in Animal Well with as little context as possible. So after being ingested by a giant ghost monster, you'll fly through the sky to this secret location. There's a temple with a giant chubby bunny blocking your path. The three-eyed bunny pecks at the floor, so of course you need to sit under its mouth so that it eats you up. Travel through the gutworks of the bunny and pop out the other side. Then walk to the ledge and your little guy hatches into a butterfly. The end. This is already an impossible ending to reach for most players. You'll need to beat the game once, which is actually doable, Then you'll need to complete a series of increasingly psychotic challenges in the post-game, collecting hidden eggs, finding secret bunnies, and finishing up every possible puzzle. Even those puzzles that are only possible thanks to the community writing up algorithms, like the giant mural puzzle that you need to painstakingly repaint one block at a time. And while the ending isn't exactly a cutscene, it's a scene that literally no one will see unless you're digging into every single strange secret of Animal Well. And what does it lead to? Yet another puzzle that only a community of fringe cases could ever solve. And they did. Hats off to them. It leads to a secret message from the developer congratulating us, even if we did use a guide to get there. Next at number 5, Lords of the Fallen wasn't the best Souls-like ever made, but it did get one thing absolutely right. There's a convoluted, cryptic ending that's only possible to earn if you make completely irrational decisions. We don't want to fill this list with secret endings, so to speak, but this one is so secret it deserves a place on this list. It doesn't help that the ending was also completely bugged for a really, really long time, making it impossible for a lot of people to see it. In Lords of the Fallen, you've got a lamp that lets you swap between worlds. This becomes important because you've got to feed souls to a spooky creature living in the dark world of your hub area. And to collect those souls, you need to permanently kill NPCs. You'll start with the blacksmith, which isn't ideal because the blacksmith is the only way to upgrade your gear. Almost all of the NPCs you need to kill are important for progression, basically locking you into your current stats before you have to fight an incredibly difficult alternate final boss. But we're getting ahead, because you also need to kill the NPC that gives you more healing charges. Yeah, so if you manage to kill enough friendly NPCs, you'll get the option to teleport to an arena and battle an abnormally difficult final boss that'll wipe the floor with your little underpowered guy. It copies itself, spawns giant magic attacks you'll never see from far away, and it heals itself. This thing is truly evil, but winning gets you a tiny cutscene with a really big, creepy elder god promising to devour everything. That's your reward. Hopefully it was worth it. Now at number 4, you know we absolutely love delving into some of our favorites, looking for all the tiny details we didn't know existed, and we've played Resident Evil 4 so many times here at Gameranx. This is a game we keep coming back to, and it always blows our minds when we learn that there are cutscenes we missed. The remake is incredible in its own ways, but it makes changes that disqualifies it from this list. All the secret tiny cutscenes you never knew existed are only in the original Resident Evil 4. Everybody knows about shooting the lake and getting eaten by the monster, but did you know about Luis? Shooting him too many times during the cabin siege sequence makes him get revenge. He turns his pistol on Leon, taking him out. Which is one of the alternate little death scenes we never really knew existed. The shooting him is fun, but one of the bigger tiny cutscenes occurs right at the start of the game. Early on, the village chief corners Leon in his house. After the scene is over, did you ever think to just go back inside? Going back through the door initiates a cutscene where the chief attacks Leon, tries to crush him, and Ada briefly appears to rescue him. This is awesome, and it's also an elaborate cutscene. And it's so elaborate that Resident Evil 4 Remake doesn't make this scene optional. It just happens no matter what. Now at number 3, everything about the Epsilon missions in Grand Theft Auto 5 is something you probably never saw, and for good reason. Joining the Epsilon cult is its own journey of discovery. You'll need to log onto the cult website, which is clearly designed to remind us all of one particularly big and litigious organization in California that we won't mention. After logging on, you'll need to answer questions about yourself. After traveling to various locations and paying increasingly large donations to this church,
come to find me for the real truth. But first, it'll be $500, please. Give long be praised.
you'll finally have access to that silly cult uniform. Now we need to buy those cult robes for $25,000, which is honestly a small price to pay for internal enlightenment, right? After running 5 miles in the desert, Yes, you really have to do that. We'll pass the final test and get to meet the leader of Epsilon. There's a lot of steps, but who wouldn't want to praise Kiflam? It seems like a scheme to extract money from their rich patrons, but that can't be right. Surely this leader will grant you enlightenment if you perform enough dumb tasks in the desert, running around in this weird outfit and just looking like a goof. This series of secret missions isn't just extremely hidden. Only the most dedicated crazy GTA fans will put up with the really annoying, aggravating requirements of each step. Get those rubber bands ready because nobody wants to hold down the run button for like 5 in-game miles. It's rough.
Well, I know nothing, Chris, with no H.
Well, then you know everything. Kiflam.
Kiflam.
Coming down at number 2, some of our favorite moments in video games are totally accidental. Stumbling into something, we never thought to try and uncovering a massive secret. It's probably happened to you. You'll never meet the true villain at the heart of the silly comedy game High on Life if you play the game like a normal person following those objective markers forward. You'll have to revisit a specific location at a very specific moment before the end of the game to see something really bizarre. Magistrate Klug is one of the few friendly aliens you'll meet on your adventures in High on Life. One of the guys that actually wants to help you save humans and defeat this evil intergalactic drug cartel. But if you return to their office before going on the final mission, you'll find it suspiciously empty. Grab the keycard, then travel to the human haven where Earth's only survivors are kept in cramped rooms like zoo animals, which is mostly done for a joke, but also sort of creepy. There's actually a hidden path in this area that leads to a totally unexpected confrontation with Dr. Gurgula, a creepy alien that's hinted at all over the margins of the main story. Maybe it's meant to be comedic juxtaposition, but the meeting with the alien doctor is surprisingly creepy and joke-free, with dead human bodies stretched on gurneys as they're being operated on. Your former ally is killed during conversation.
I already know the disappointing answer.
I'm sorry, human, but this is what I thought was best for the cosmos. You just don't
Now the question is, what do we do with you?
And more spooky secrets are even hinted at. This is definitely one that most of us never saw in a game that we never even thought would have a secret like this, but it's cool. It's just weird that it's not even a funny joke thing.
You're human. I have a very specific interest in humans. Would you mind if I cut you open and took a look inside?
What's going on here?
Oh, my apologies.
And lastly, down at number 1, before we can talk about this secret cutscene in Jak X, a game from an old series that most of you probably don't even know exists, we're gonna have to talk about a controversy that happened before some of you were even born. Gamers of a certain age will remember the hot coffee controversy from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Basically, a bunch of weird politicians that wanted to ban video games latched onto this piece of cut content from San Andreas to try to get the game banned, forcing the publisher to modify all future copies to block access to this cut minigame. It's a cut minigame that basically shows simulated clothed sex between the main guy and his girlfriend. It's about the least explicit thing possible, but it was a big deal at the time. It was in the news. It was crazy. Now, one thing that's lost in the whole hot coffee controversy is that everything about the minigame is really funny and embarrassing. It's cut content, so of course it looks like crap. It was unfinished. And of course, plenty of games did a parody on it. One of those games, of all of them, is Jak X. In the secrets menu, there's a hot coffee option you can buy, and it shows a short little scene of Daxter and his girlfriend getting it on. Okay, not really. Jak X isn't the 10th game in the series. It's just an extreme sports racing game featuring Jak and Daxter. Characters that haven't really been relevant since the end of the PlayStation 2 era. But God, do we miss them. Holy crap, can we please get another Naughty Dog? Can you do games like this again? Anyway, these games, if you don't remember, definitely flirted with the idea of edginess here and there, and so it makes sense that this hot coffee cutscene was born. Daxter and his equally Disney-style animal sidekick girlfriend pretend to get intimate, but they're really just having a little bit of coffee. The scene is only a handful of seconds long, and we have no idea why this was made. The same developers that made the critically acclaimed, deep, moody Last of Us, a game that's now also like a tentpole prestige TV show on HBO, Also made a tiny cutscene that nobody will ever see about two fantasy animals referencing an M-rated video game controversy. That's just as early 2000s as it gets, and we love it.
Oh, Daxter, you're amazing.
What?
So those are 10 cutscenes you probably never saw. If you've seen all these, then sure, you deserve an award. Good for you. Either way, let us know about all your favorite hard-to-find cutscenes and moments in your favorite games. We always want to know more, especially the more obscure, weird secrets we can find. But let us know anything you think about this stuff at all. We'd love to hear from you. Clicking the like button helps us out. We appreciate it. We put out videos every single day. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.